Than I did. Which of course.
Actually, Phil and I went to different schools together in Chicago.
But I actually found some true things. When the local tradition was starting up in Puget Sound, there was first one real counter-dance band, and Culhane was in it, and I learned to dance to Wild Rose. This was in the late 70s, early 80s. And then there was two, and I was in the second one, and I couldn't dance to my own band, but I came to learn that Don and Kay, I didn't know this at the time, I didn't know this until just now, that they, quote unquote, followed us from one Catholic church to another, which is whose halls we rented. I mean, there was holy names, it was in the early mid-80s, holy names, and Blessed Sacrament, and Temple de Hirsch.
Yeah,
Reformed Catholic.
So it's my honor and my privilege to have had a part in the starting up of such a wonderful, gracious dancer and caller. Later I had the privilege of having him work in front of me in a band I was in, and really he knows what's inside that stuff, and he conveys it so graciously. And I didn't know I had a part of getting Don and Kay started, but I'm so honored to that privilege.
I want to finish what I started. Is I did play with him 4 years, and I mean everything I've learned about leading a band from Kay and Don, calling a band. I mean, 4 years of training, and it was like, for a lot of people here, we got into music because Kay would start this jam session and teach us tunes. And I knew 5 tunes when we started our jam session.
Now you know 6 or 7.
I know.
But we know them past.
You guys have heard them all over and over. No, but I just want to say that a lot of my training that I've learned is about contra dance, playing in a band and playing for dancers, and those two.
Is that a compliment?
No.
Well, we want to recognize, I've been talking and thinking a lot about elders lately, realizing that I'm an elder, and maybe we're about the same age, and so that means you are too, if I am, then you are.
Older than you are.
Just a little bit. But anyway, both of you have been such an amazing influence on our dance community, all the work that you've done in bringing music to the Grange and playing in the Grange and all the Granges that you have, and I'm just really grateful. I don't know what I would do without contra dancing. So it's...
Well, this is really embarrassing so far. I hope it gets less so as time goes on. But,
Supposed to be.
But I'd like to call out certain people that are here that perhaps a lot of you don't know. And 2 of them are sitting right in front of me, Robin and Steve. And for those of you who are members of the Olympia Food Co-op, members, we played the very first opening of the East Side Food Co-op, and those guys were the band.
Pearl was there as a baby.
And Pearl was there as a baby.
Things have changed.
It was 1994. And the East Side Co-op had just opened, and so we needed a band to do this, and so Robin and Steve came down, and so I altered the calls from down the hall to down the aisle, because it's the only place you had to go in the co-op. But for those of you who shop at the East Side, it was initiated by Robin and Steve. And they used to have a business card, I don't know if you still do, used to say, on time, in tune.
Still do.
And you can't beat that. And another person I like to commend right now is Simone, who is sitting right over there, who is really instrumental so much in the early part of that. She and I used to have knockdown, drag-out fights about stuff all the time. And of course, the only reason for that is because we loved each other so much. And so it's so great to see her, and I have something to show all of you.
Some of the rest of you had a part in this too, but Simone was the person that arranged for it.
So after we retired, after the first 10 years,
oh, nice.
this is what was. Why don't you walk out a little bit? And this is a design done by Julie King of 4 dancers circling left. Of course, circling left, because in the northern hemisphere you can't circle right. At least I've never seen any contra dancers that could circle right. But here they are circling left. It's kind of faded because we had it hanging out, and it wasn't in direct sun, but it faded quite a lot. But that was the most wonderful thing, Simone, and we think of you all the time because of that. I'm so glad you're here tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you might want to take a look at that. I don't know where we could hang it up. But I think it's also appropriate at this point to paraphrase Mark Twain. And that's to say that rumors of my imminent demise are greatly exaggerated. It is true that I have leukemia, but I have the best kind of leukemia. It's the chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and I will probably ultimately die of something else. So
How are you sure?
yeah. So, and just to scroll through all those rumors that I'm on my last legs, you all saw me polka-ing around here on 2 legs. So clearly those rumors are way wrong. And about...
Thank you for bringing us up to date on that, because the rumors have been flying all over the place, and some, it's just helpful to know.
I'm here to tell you he's as ornery as ever.
So, anyone else want to do some roasting here? This is your opportunity right now, I guess.
It's not a roast, but I had spent years in Boston, New York, and then Boston, and able to dance there, and I was really disappointed moving to Olympia, thinking I couldn't really find anything, and then connected up with you and started attending those early dances, and it's just wonderful to see how much this has expanded over the years and how many dances there are offered in different venues now every month.
Well, I guess I would just want to add, I remember when we first did meet, there was, I think, just the first Friday dance at the Olympia Ballroom, is all that was going on, and we did then try to, expand it to the Grange, but I also have such fond memories of house parties such as this, and our little tiny cabin on Cooper Point Road, and then I think you guys were there, and Carol and Eric, you might be, and I know the Rainwoods were there, and he would try to teach us how to call. We'd use light bulbs trying to practice.
Don't bite the microphone.
It was a good lesson to try to call and realize it's not such a simple thing. You're on the dance floor and you think, oh, come on, it's behind. But then you try to do it and you realize it's a real skill.
I don't know how many of you know Alan Brisley, but he's a just wonderful dancer, great guy, wonderful person. And he was at one of those sessions, and he wanted to learn how to call it. Since he was such a good dancer, he thought, well, I'm a good dancer, I ought to be able to call this stuff. So he's got his card up in front of his nose, and there's about, I don't know, 4 couples in this little house, and he's saying, okay, do-si-do, and the music keees going, He says, and oh shit. Which is not
anybody? Not right there.
That's a riffraff again, you can't.
I tell you, that scene.
Problem.
If we were gathered in our neighborhood, Alder, just outside the entrance to the Nisqually entrance to the park, with
the dancing community there. We have regular dances, one about every 3 years. But they would know Donald because in the beginning you would come to call dances. And
you had a real knack for getting people up dancing who had never danced before.